Hello my tubers, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about what is God's will for you, or what is your highest path? What is the universe's will for you? What is that highest life that you can and should and will be living? This is a fascinating, multi-layered, kind of paradoxical, very interesting concept. So please take what resonates for you and leave the rest, because we're all on our own journeys and I'm here to uplift you and inspire you. And if something I say, if it doesn't feel right for you, then it's not for you. And it's just that simple. So we are one with Source. We are one with our Creator. We are one with the universe. We have a smaller self, our ego, our body, the kind of shield that we are in that keeps us in this three-dimensional time. It keeps us in the space we're in. It keeps us waking up in the same bed every morning. That is the veil that we are in. Our small self, our ego, this humanness. And we also have our higher self. That is also us, but we don't have full access to it because of our veil. This higher self, the universe, God, Source, nature, whatever you want to call it, this higher aspect of ourself is the one that is beating our heart. It is the one that is growing the grass. It's the one that's tweeting the birds. We're not the ones doing all of those things, but we are one that is doing all those things. So that's not entirely what this video is about, but just some back info on the smaller self and the higher self. The ego, which is the veil, the illusion of separation is the ego, the illusion of separation from all that is. And so how do you know what is God's will versus your own? God's will and your will is one, because you are one with the Creator. However, when your will is coming from a place of fear, scarcity, control, lack, judgment, anger, mistrust, any of those things, when you are coming from that place, when you are taking action, when you're coming from a place of planning for the future, trying to control the future, trying to control other people, trying to force things, that is when it is coming from the ego. God's will is the same thing that you want. Let's say you want $1 million. Great, simple example that everyone's heard before. If you are coming from a place of lack and fear, and you want that $1 million to feel safe, you're going to act from a place of lack and fear and manipulation, and try and get others and try and force things to get that $1 million that you think will make you safe. You wanting the $1 million isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you're not acting on God's will if you're acting from that place of fear. God's will for you with wanting that $1 million is to trust that in your wanting, it's already yours. It's to come from a place of presence and inspiration as you move through life towards this $1 million that you know is already yours, towards this $1 million that you know if you want it, then God also wants it for you. It's coming from a different space of taking action towards it. And wanting $1 million from an ego space is usually wanting security. It's usually feeling like you need it to be safe. You need it to be happy. You need it to be free. if you're just wanting it from a space of your higher power's will, you're simply wanting it because you want it, because you want to experience it, because you want to experience the becoming of it. You're simply wanting it just for the fun of it. You're simply wanting it for the pleasure of it. So this is the two different wills, which are one, but the ego is, I've got a baby that just woke up. Our will is one. And truly, what is your will? Your ego. All of us want to feel safe. All of us want to be happy. All of us want to feel peace. All of us want to feel content. All of us want to feel good. We want to feel inspired. Our will and God's is one will. The ego just thinks it can force the happiness to happen from acquiring stuff. It thinks it can force the safety and the faith and the contentment from latching onto things and forcing things to happen and planning for things. Planning is the ego trying to take control. Acting from a space of presence, a space of, this feels so exciting to me right now. Like, I felt so excited to just make this video and talk about this topic. Coming from a space of presence, a space of inspiration, a space of, this sounds so good, this sounds like it would feel good. That is when your will and God's will is one. That presence, that present moment, when you are acting presently without trying to control, without trying to force, without trying to plan, that is when the wills are one. And that is such a beautiful thing. One sec. Your highest path is your path of most enjoyment. Your highest path is your path of most faith and trust. Your highest path is your path of most presence. And it's meant to be a mystery. We are here in this body with this veil so that we can walk this mystery. And you're not walking it alone. The whole universe has the exact same will for you that you have, and you get to choose, am I gonna come from a space of lack and fear and limitation, or am I gonna come from a space of walking with God? Am I gonna come from a space where I know that our will is one because I feel good about it, because I'm not trying to force it? You have those two options at all times, and you have the awareness to start to recognize when you are trying to force versus when something truly feels good, when it truly feels aligned, when it truly feels like it's an action taken in faith. It's an action that feels good to you. It's an action that feels good in the present moment. You are the one who creates your life, and you are co-creating it with this external, separate but not truly separate part of you. I do also want to acknowledge that sometimes your higher self puts things on your heart that aren't instant gratification, instant joy, but they are leading to higher levels of consciousness and higher levels of existence. And so something like this could be put on your heart to have a difficult conversation where you have to apologize and you have to kind of face some fears to do it. Things that sometimes take courage, that don't feel amazing leading up to it. Sometimes there's anxiety involved. Sometimes there's fear. Sometimes there's worry, like, what if I do this wrong? This seems so big. Am I up for it? Those kinds of doubts. And so I just want to also acknowledge that God's will for you is what's put on your heart. It's not always the instant gratification. Those instant, like, oh, I'm just gonna eat cookies forever and ever. Sometimes it's like, I'm gonna go on a run so I can feel the movement in my limbs, so I can feel the endorphins after, even though it's hard at the start, even though it's hard to sometimes follow that initial nudge. It's still bringing you to that higher feeling space, and it's following things in each moment. So just also wanted to say that. Trust that your God, trust that your universe knows what you want. I hear a baby crying. Trust that your universe knows exactly what you want and exactly how to get it to you. Trust that your universe wants the exact same thing for you, except it actually knows what you want a little bit better, because you think you want stuff to be happy, you think you want stuff to feel safe, you think you want people to feel connected, you think you want external things, but the universe knows you better. So it's actually helping you. It truly knows what you want, and its will for you is that happiness and enjoyment. And that is truly what your will is as well. Except sometimes we get caught up in the matrix, the 3D. We get caught up in the veil, and we think that we need physical stuff to be okay. We don't actually realize what we need is to just be okay. Is to just trust. So I hope that this has sparked some magic and inspiration and trust in you, remembrance maybe. I hope that going forward we all continue to make choices from a space of abundance, a space of alignment, a space of clarity, a space of knowing that our will is one with our Creator, and our Creator knows what we want, and it also knows what's best for us, and it's making it all happen. So thank you so much. I'm really grateful to talk about this today. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.